122 million. That is the number of illiterate children around the world. These children lack job opportunities and the basic tools necessary to better their circumstances. This is a huge problem. But LitWorld, an organization that works to improve lives through literacy, has a solution. Through its innovative curriculum, LitWorld is not only improving literacy skills, they are changing lives, inspiring children to be the best that they can be. However, LitWorld currently has a limited global impact. They only have a presence in 11 countries around the world. Because their growth has thus far been organic, LitWorld would like a plan, both to reach more people and to have a greater impact on each life. To structure their growth, we have developed a plan that will double their number of participants over the next 5 years and will increase their yearly economic impact by $5.4 million. To construct this plan, we have developed a CCEW-like entrepreneurial program and have solidified connections with potential LitWorld partners, conversing with organizations in 4 different countries. We have also equipped LitWorld with the tools that they will need to fund this expansion. We have greatly enjoyed working with LitWorld this semester and are excited to present to you our recommendations. Good evening. My name is Sarah Stevenson, and I am a chemical engineering senior from Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
My name is Alex Reisner. I'm an international studies sophomore from Waxahachie, Texas.
I'm Jamie Huber, a health and exercise science senior from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
And my name is Kevin Hadley. I'm an economics sophomore from Kansas City, Missouri.
We are also joined on this project by team leader Jeff Ray, our inventor Dorothy Lee, and our mentor Radnima Ahmed. LitWorld is a global organization that works to improve lives through literacy. They do this through their Lit Clubs. Lit Clubs are groups of 10 to 15 students that meet together every week to not only read and write, but also make art and drama to tell their stories. This focus on storytelling is embedded in LitWorld's curriculum, which is also founded on their 7 core values. These values include qualities such as courage and hope, and each lesson focuses on one particular value. As the children progress through the curriculum, they are guided by facilitators, 2 adults who meet with the club every week. Through their curriculum, LitWorld is having a global impact and is not only improving literacy skills, but is increasing children's confidence, not only in their stories, but also in themselves. LitWorld's global impact is a result of their growth. The original Lit Clubs began through LitWorld connections. Some were through individuals who saw what LitWorld was doing and wanted to join with them. Others were through organizations who shared LitWorld's values and wanted to partner with them. Over time, some of these partnerships grew stronger and developed into what LitWorld calls innovation hubs. These hubs are local resource centers for clubs in the community and provide not only a space for clubs to meet, but also books and computers for the children to use, as well as increased programming to deepen the impact on the children's lives. After 3 LitWorld partnerships developed into hubs, in Harlem, in Kenya, and in the Philippines, LitWorld decided to intentionally plant a hub in Haiti. To better connect the various locations around the world, LitWorld has contracted with NextThought, a Norman software startup company, who has developed a software platform that will allow the facilitators in various locations to connect with one another and share thoughts and ideas. The software contains not only chat and message capabilities, but the ability to annotate the curriculum or to draw pictures to illustrate questions or ideas. As LitWorld has grown organically over the past few years, they are now facing 3 main challenges looking forward. The first is global expansion and determining how to reach more children and to expand into new geographic regions. The second is entrepreneurial programming and determining how to codify what happened organically at one of their hubs. At the hub in Kibera, Kenya, the children became excited about the increased literacy skills that they had gained and looked for ways to apply these. They did this through the Egg Project, in which they built a chicken coop and raised chickens in order to sell the eggs. The challenge of entrepreneurial programs involves turning this organic experience into a repeatable program in order to maximize the economic impact. The third challenge is funding strategy and increasing LitWorld's visibility among donors as well as their number of donors. These 3 challenges are addressed in our 3-part growth strategy. Through our strategy, LitWorld will increase their number of participants by 2,000 children and will add 6 new hubs over the next 5 years. They will also increase their entrepreneurial impact by $663,000. Through incorporating our funding recommendations, LitWorld will be enabled to sustain the extra $500,000 per year funding costs that come as a result of our recommendations. Our 3-part growth strategy will come with a total economic impact of $5.4 million per year. This strategy will enable LitWorld to have structure as they grow. It will increase their impact. And now Reisner is going to tell you about the first part of this plan, geographic expansion. Reisner?
Thank you. From a list of 20 locations that meet our criteria for a good new hub location, we have chosen 6 initial locations to be built over a 5-year time span to provide an optimal foundation for LitWorld to continue their geographic expansion. The way that we determine what would be a good new location for a hub is based on the following criteria. First of all, it needs to be a large metropolitan area with an international airport so that there's a large quantity of students that can be reached and LitWorld staff can easily travel to and from the hub location. It also needs to be centrally located in a region with low literacy rates so that LitWorld's impact can be high. We prioritize locations based on whether they are in a new cultural sphere because LitWorld wants to expand it to new regions before doubling up on hubs within a region. And as Sarah mentioned earlier, a hub is only possible through partnering with a local organization. So for each hub candidate city, we identified organizations that are deeply involved in developing their communities through education and have the resources and space needed to be able to support LitWorlds with a new hub. And we took this into account, the prevalence of how many there are in a location when determining whether it would be a good, suitable hub location. And through our research, our team has compiled a list of several potential partner organizations for each of the locations that we recommend. And to get LitWorld started, we have identified an ideal partner for each of the first 3 locations that we recommend, namely Aldea Yanapai, A Place Called Home, and Akanksha. And we have spoken to each of them via Skype and have confirmed their interest and initiated the beginning stages of a potential partnership. Now that we've introduced our 5-year plan, let's go back to the map and take a look at what that looks like geographically. In the first year, LitWorld will have its first hub in South America to be able to reach the Andean region and will provide an initial foothold into the Spanish-speaking world. Then a hub in Los Angeles will be able to support the western half of the United States, while in the same year, one in Mumbai will be able to support the South Asian region, which has a huge quantity of students that can be reached. Then a hub in Ghana will provide support to the clusters of clubs already in Ghana, as well as to the broader West African region. Then a hub in Honduras will be able to continue their expansion in the Spanish-speaking world into Central America. And finally, in the 5th year, a hub in Recife will be able to support the northeastern part of Brazil, which is the region of Brazil with the lowest literacy rates and levels of economic development. For the 6th year and beyond, we are equipping LitWorld to identify and vet new possible hub locations in the future using our evaluation criteria. And we are providing them with a list of 15 pre-screened hub locations, including these examples, that they'll be able to use as they continue, in addition to multiple potential partners for each location, totaling 64. This will enable LitWorld to be able to continue our selection process, to continue providing structure as they continue to expand throughout the world. Our plan will provide structure as they continue their geographic expansion, and implementing our plan will result in LitWorld enabling them to reach at least 2,000 more students and focusing on 6 new regions of the world over the next 5 years. Now that we've seen what we recommend LitWorld can do to increase their global impact, let's see what they can do on a local level to increase their impact through entrepreneurship. And for that, I'll hand it over to Jamie.
Thank you, Reisner. Entrepreneurship is important because it will equip students with the business tools that they will need to create and run their own businesses in the future and help improve their communities. Through the EGG project started in Kibera, Kenya, LitWorld identified the potential to develop students' applied literacy skills using entrepreneurship. Our role has been to develop this new aspect of LitWorld's programming. Since CCEW's area of expertise is entrepreneurial development, we have created a CCEW-like model, but on a smaller scale and customized to LitWorld's needs. This program includes 3 phases: foundational knowledge, hub projects, and access to microfinance. Let's see how these 3 phases will give students entrepreneurial training. The foundational knowledge phase is designed to coincide with the current Lit Club curriculum. So as students read their regular Lit Club books, they will also be reading basic books to teach them entrepreneurial themes such as money management, teamwork, and how to identify business opportunities. We have compiled a list of 50 such books, which we will be able to give to LitWorld. After students have acquired this foundational knowledge, they will move on to participate in the Hub projects. Hub projects are teaching tools designed to give students hands-on application of business concepts. To give you an idea of what a Hub project would look like, I'll discuss the candle making project that we are suggesting for Mumbai, India. For this project, students will go through the process of first planning their candle business, then making and selling the candles, and finally, evaluating their financial success by going through cost analyses and return on investment calculations. Now, each Hub project will be specific to the economies of the Hub site in which they are located. They will also require a minimum amount of time commitment and financial commitment, since most of LitWorld's participants are young students who are still in school. These projects are also designed to give students an experience in a complete business cycle. So each new group of students will have the opportunity to go through planning, implementing, and evaluating their own business plan. In order to prepare LitWorld to launch these programs, we have developed 2 project manuals specific to the hubs in India and Kenya. We have also developed 7 example projects specific to the existing and future hub economies, as well as a general project template, which will allow future business project ideas to be developed quickly. In order to support students in this hub project process, there will be financial literacy books to help them develop and implement their business plans. Nextthought can once again aid in this aspect of LitWorld's programming by allowing the facilitators at each hub site to connect with each other and give each other helpful hints on how to improve the hub projects. For those students who have completed their hub project and have an interest in starting their own business venture, there will be access to microfinance loans. There will be 5 business planning books available to help students grow their business idea and create a business plan, which will help them to acquire these microfinance loans. In order for LitWorld to provide this access, we are recommending that they partner with Grameen, one of the largest and most successful microfinance organizations that has a large global reach, as well as an extensive network of local microfinance partnerships. So students who want to start their own business will be able to come to an innovation hub to use Grameen's partnership to get connected with a local microfinance organization and begin their business venture. This program will allow LitWorld to deepen its impact on each child's life through giving them the tools and the practice necessary to create and run their own businesses, and also to help them improve their communities. Assuming that only 5% of LitWorld's graduates go on to start their own businesses, this results in 160 new business ventures being launched every year, which has an estimated impact of $663,000 on the local economies. Now that we have seen how LitWorld can scale its impact globally and have a deeper impact on each life through entrepreneurship, Kevin will discuss our recommendations for how LitWorld increase its revenues to support this growth.
Thank you, Jamie. As LitWorld adopts our plan over the next 5 years, it's going to change their cost structure pretty dramatically. So let's take a look at what that looks like. LitWorld has 3 types of costs: administrative, hub, and travel costs, and our recommended expansion plan is going to increase all 3. First, hubs cost about $50,000 a piece, so our recommendation of 6 hubs in 5 years means a minimum of $300,000 added to LitWorld's bottom line. Additionally, new hires in 2015 and 2017 are going to increase their administrative costs. Now, after analyzing LitWorld's assets and structure, our team has concluded that they're still going to have to be funded primarily through donations. So we're going to equip them with several tools to help them grow their donations over time. The first of those tools is US expansion. We recommend LitWorld expand to Los Angeles in 2015. This will allow them access to a large donor base that they have yet to tap into. Our second recommendation is for LitWorld to begin publishing the stories written by children at their hubs. This will give them increased visibility among small donors in the United States. In addition to these 2 funding recommendations, we've provided LitWorld with a variety of supporting documents. These are wide-ranging documents, all the way from the selection criteria for a new partner and hub that Reisner mentioned earlier, all the way to impact metrics such as return on investment and impact to GDP. Now let's look a little bit more in depth about how our funding recommendations will change LitWorld's donations. Our first recommendation was U.S. expansion. This graph shows 6 charities similar to LitWorld that expanded to Los Angeles recently, and the effect that expansion had upon their donations. Benchmarking off these charities, we can see that LitWorld can expect at a minimum to add $100,000 to their donations by expanding. And as Reisner mentioned earlier, we're providing LitWorld with a list of 20 cities that would apply for after our 5-year growth plan expires. 2 of those are in the United States, Chicago and Dallas. And we've found 10 good partners among these 3 locations for them to begin the steps of creating a hub. Our second recommendation is selling the stories written by children at the hubs. To do this, we recommend that they take the stories written as part of the normal curriculum of the hubs, compile them, and edit them using the staff in the Home Office of New York, which includes a published author. And then, from here, LitWorld can bring these stories to market using their good connections with the publishing industry. This is based off of a model used by Teach Twice. Teach Twice is a nonprofit from Tennessee that sells stories for children written by adults in developing countries and donates the proceeds to charity. If LitWorld is able to attract 10,000 small donors using this method, it will increase their annual donations by $130,000, and combining these 2 funding recommendations with their existing donation mechanism will allow them to adequately cover the added cost of expansion. But before our plan becomes a reality, LitWorld has some next steps of their own. LitWorld should begin reaching out and continuing the conversation we've started with the partners in India, Peru, and Los Angeles, as well as beginning preliminary site visits in these locations. For entrepreneurship, they should launch our entrepreneurial curriculum via NextThought as soon as possible to allow the 4 existing hub locations to start benefiting from entrepreneurship. Additionally, they should reach out and continue the conversation we started with Grameen to add microfinance. Finally, for funding, we recommend that LitWorld start contacting their friends in the publishing industry, as well as compiling and editing these stories. Our growth plan will allow LitWorld to reach over 2,000 additional children every year and have an economic impact from entrepreneurship of over $600,000 annually. In addition, we're preparing them to cope with an additional $500,000 budget increase over the next 5 years. If we add the economic impact of entrepreneurship with the economic impact from increased literacy, we can see that their total annual increase in economic impact per year because of our expansion plan is at $5.4 million. Perhaps more importantly, though, our expansion plan will allow LitWorld to change the lives of thousands of children and many communities around the world, ensuring a lot of economic development and self-actualization. Thank you, and we'll now answer your questions.